Welcome to Echo of Crime YouTube channel, the message that shouldn't exist. Before we start this one, make sure you're subscribed, because what you're about to hear isn't a movie. It's a real case that began with something so ordinary, a lost iPhone. And by the time it ended, 3 people were dead, and one secret shattered a quiet town forever. The morning the phone was found, the sun hadn't even risen over the small coastal town of Clearwater, Oregon. A jogger named Hannah Reed spotted it half buried in the sand near the old pier, a cracked iPhone 13 with a blood-smeared case. She picked it up, hoping to find an ID or emergency contact. But the moment she pressed the side button, the screen lit up with one unread message. "It's done. Meet me at the quarry." The sender's name was saved simply as M. By 7:15 a.m., police had locked down the area. Detectives Nick Holbrook and Dana Ruiz arrived, trying to figure out how a single phone could connect to a possible crime scene. They traced the device to a missing person, 26-year-old Evan Cole, a local tech repairman who'd vanished 2 nights earlier. His girlfriend, Lauren Bennett, told police Evan had stormed out after an argument about money. He hadn't returned since. What made it stranger was what they found inside the phone. Though the screen was cracked, forensics extracted dozens of deleted messages, all encrypted, all referencing drops, payments, and a mysterious app called Mirage. Evan's workshop computer was wiped clean, and his security cameras had been erased frame by frame, hours before he disappeared. When detectives dug deeper, they discovered Evan wasn't just fixing phones. He was unlocking them for people who didn't want the police involved. Drug dealers, identity thieves, even a few local politicians had used his quiet little shop. But the texts on his phone suggested something much bigger. Evan had stumbled into a black market data ring and maybe tried to pull out. Then came the first twist. At 2:40 p.m., a fisherman reported something tangled in his net near the quarry. A backpack filled with hard drives, a blood-stained hoodie, and a receipt for a burner phone purchased 2 days earlier. The name on the receipt? Lauren Bennett. Detective Ruiz confronted her that evening. Lauren swore she was being framed, that Evan had been acting paranoid for weeks, talking about a leak, and that someone was watching him. But when Ruiz asked where she was the night Evan vanished, Lauren hesitated. "Too long. I was home," she said quietly. "I didn't go anywhere." Minutes later, Holbrook's phone buzzed. A tech team had cracked the phone's location history. The night Evan disappeared, his phone had pinged not once, but 3 times, each at different locations miles apart. The final ping wasn't at the quarry. It was at Lauren's apartment. Ruiz looked up slowly, meeting Lauren's eyes. "If you didn't go anywhere," she said, "then why was his phone in your living room at 2:37 a.m.? Lauren didn't answer. But when they brought the phone back to evidence, something new appeared on the lock screen. A missed call, time-stamped just 20 minutes earlier. Caller ID, M. And the number was still active. When detectives traced the mysterious number saved as M, they expected a name, an address, maybe a burner line bought at a gas station. Instead, the number looped through an encrypted network, a virtual SIM routed through 3 countries, and ending in an offshore domain registered to a fake company. Mirage Technologies, LLC. It was the same name Evan had mentioned in his deleted texts. Detective Holbrook leaned over his monitor. "Whoever this is," he muttered, "they built a ghost trail. This isn't amateur work." The FBI's cybercrime unit was brought in. They decrypted fragments of Evan's last backups and found hidden folders marked Project Glasshouse. Inside were hundreds of files, personal data, banking credentials, photos, and surveillance videos. The victims were all locals. Every single one had used the same data recovery service in town, a pop-up kiosk run by a quiet man named Michael Trent. Michael was polite, punctual, and had no criminal record. But his kiosk surveillance footage told a different story. The night Evan disappeared, Michael had shut down early, but his car was seen driving toward the quarry 15 minutes later. The same quarry from a message. "It's done. Meet me at the quarry." When police brought Michael in for questioning, he didn't ask why. He just said, "You found the phone, didn't you?" Ruiz leaned forward. "Whose blood was on it, Michael?" He stared back, expression calm. "Not Evan's. You're looking for the wrong person." Holbrook noticed something strange. Michael's right hand trembled slightly when he spoke, as though he'd been in a fight recently. Under his nails, faint traces of dried mud, later confirmed to match the sediment near the quarry's west bank. But before the detectives could press further, an officer burst into the interrogation room. "We just got a 911 call," he said. "Lauren Bennett's been attacked." They rushed to her apartment. The front door was splintered. Inside, drawers overturned, lights shattered. Lauren was gone. The only thing left untouched was her laptop, still open on the dining table. On the screen, a video feed flickered, grainy security footage from Evan's workshop. The timestamp? 2 nights before he vanished. Evan stood at his workbench, phone in hand, recording a message to someone off camera. "If you're watching this," he said, voice shaking. "Then they found me. Mirage isn't a company, it's a cover. They're inside everything. Don't trust." The video cut off mid-sentence. Ruiz felt her stomach tighten. "He was trying to warn her," she whispered. Holbrook replayed the footage in slow motion. In the reflection of the workshop window, a second figure appeared for less than a second, a silhouette wearing a dark hoodie. The image froze just before the lights went out. Holbrook zoomed in on the reflection. It wasn't Evan. It wasn't Michael either. It was someone they both recognized. Lauren Bennett. The footage changed everything. Lauren wasn't just part of the story. She was the story. By dawn, every unit in Clearwater was searching for her. Her car, a gray Toyota Corolla, was caught on highway cameras heading toward the abandoned quarry where Evan's backpack had been found. Detectives Holbrook and Ruiz followed in silence, their radios hissing updates. When they arrived, mist rolled across the cliffs like smoke. The quarry pit stretched below them, a mirror of dark water surrounded by jagged stone. Tire marks cut fresh into the mud, leading to the edge. Lauren's car sat idling, driver's door open, headlights bleeding pale light into the fog. Inside, the passenger seat was empty, but on the dashboard lay Evan's phone. A new message blinked on the screen. "Come alone. It's time." A figure stepped from the shadows near the cliff. Lauren. Her hands were trembling, her eyes wild, mascara streaked like ink. "Drop the weapon, Lauren," Ruiz called. Lauren laughed bitterly. "You think I wanted any of this?" she shouted. "You think I meant to kill him?" Holbrook took a cautious step forward. "Tell us what happened." She lowered the gun slightly, voice cracking. Evan was in too deep. He found out Mirage was using his shop to sell stolen data, not just names or passwords. They were trading people's lives. Identities, medical files, everything. He tried to expose them, and I tried to stop him. Ruiz frowned. "You stopped him?" Laura nodded, tears breaking through. "They said if I didn't, they'd kill my brother. He's 14. I thought if I helped them fake Evan's death, maybe they'd let him go." Holbrook's voice dropped. "But Evan didn't fake it, did he?" She shook her head slowly. "He fought me. He ran. Michael showed up. He was Mirage's handler. He told me it was too late." She turned her gaze toward the water. "Evan's in there. That's where they dumped him." As Ruiz called for the dive team, Lauren's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, stared at the screen, and whispered, "It's him." Holbrook looked over. The name on the caller ID, M. Lauren pressed accept, her hands shaking. The voice on the other end was cold, mechanical. "You talked, Lauren. You broke the pact." A gunshot echoed before either detective could react. Lauren collapsed, the phone slipping from her grasp and tumbling into the mud. The call was still connected. From the speaker came a faint static hum, and then, unmistakably, a man's voice. Holbrook froze. He knew that voice. It was Chief of Police Marcus Hale, the man who had been running the investigation from day one. By evening, Hale had vanished. His badge, gun, and phone were found in his office drawer. Inside the safe beneath his desk, they discovered drives labeled Mirage, containing thousands of identities from across the country. Hale had been using Evan and Michael as middlemen to build a digital black market hidden in plain sight. Evan had tried to stop it. Lauren had tried to survive it, and Hale had buried them both. Weeks later, divers recovered Evan's body from the quarry. The case made national headlines, but Hale was never found. Some said he fled the country. Others whispered that Mirage silenced him, too. Holbrook quit the force soon after. Ruiz stayed, chasing fragments of leads, each one ending in another encrypted trail. And sometimes, late at night, anonymous texts still ping the precinct server. Short, taunting messages that say only one thing: it's not done. If you thought this story was intense, wait until you hear what was found on the second phone. Subscribe. You'll want to be here for that one.